Hey kids, Mr. Fly, hey, I hope you're well. Hey, fancy this, a live stream, incredible. Now, it's been, would you believe, it's been tomorrow, marks exactly a year since I did my last live stream. That was one that went terribly badly initially, technologically speaking. I did it with Chopsy, do you remember that one? And it's been a whole year since I did one of these, unbelievable. And what a year it's been, eh? Amazing. Anyway, so I do apologise, I haven't done one of these for a year. I can see we've already got people starting to come in on the stream, which is great. Already got 270 concurrent users apparently. But in the year since I did one of these, they've changed the technology completely, so I've no idea whether this is working or not. So can somebody just let me know in the comments, which are flashing by very quickly, whether you can see and hear me okay? I assume you can, but we know it says here echo. Bit echo, or is it just my end? I wonder what that's about then. I haven't got anything turned on here in terms of speakers and stuff, so sorry about that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about echo. No, I don't think there's much I can do. Is it listenable though? Is it alright? Can we stand it? Or does it echo some strange alcohol? Echoes. Oh dear, lots of echo apparently. The sounds are echoing. 2 mics. Oh dear, what can we do here? Let's think about this. Stand by, let me fiddle with some mics then. I wonder if it's this one. Oh, that seems to be active. Let's kill it. I'll turn another mic on. Hang on a sec. There you go, what about that? Is that any better? I don't know what I've done. I've got 2 mics showing up here. I don't know what the other one is. Give that a little scrape. Oh, it might be that one. Hang on. I don't know. Is that worse or better? Let me tell you. Andy, push the mic back. Scrap it. Kill one mic. Yep, better. We can understand. Better. Okay. Yeah. Fixed. Good. Okay. Well, I've no idea what was going on there then. Is the sound quality really terrible indeed? I mean, I'll know when I watch this back if it's really echoey and horrible. I'll be most gutted. Because it looks quite professional, doesn't it, this setup, but it's all rather thrown together. Anyway, how you doing? It's a grim November night where I am. There's not a lot on the telly. It's foggy, it's cold, and frankly, I didn't have too much to do, so I thought, why not do a bit of a live stream? I've enjoyed a few of those myself recently. It so happens I've got shed loads of questions from the last live streams that I never actually got to, so I thought I'd answer a few of those as well as get some from you guys as well. So let me know whereabouts you're watching from. I always love doing that, always amuses me. I'll see if I can actually read where you are. So we've got Raging Tortoise, hello to you, about the same. You're going to be gutted, still echoing a lot. Oh dear, turn second mic better, but sort delay is not that good, very bad echo. It's doable. Oh dear, that's the right choker, isn't it? What shall I do? Shall I bin it and come back? Please check the video resolution, it says here. It's not optimal. Cool, blimey, it's all going horribly wrong, and there's 430 people watching now. Loving it. Little shell font. Somebody's at local Scotland. Hello from Wales. Still loads of reverb. Somebody says. I wonder where this is coming from. Let's see if I can turn it. What if I turn the mic down a bit? Let's try that. Can somebody let me know if that's killed any of the echo, or has it just gone very quiet for you? I've turned a mic down. I don't know which mic's working. Whether could be one even in the camera. Hang on a second. Oh, it sounds like it's the one in the camera that's being used. Isn't that bizarre? Blimey, Gov. What a shame. I've got all this high-tech kit here and I don't know how to use it. Bummer. Somebody's saying much better. That's better. Perfect. Speakers on. No echo. That's better. Oh, good. All right. Let's crack on then. I haven't got any speakers on, by the way. They're properly turned off for that very reason. I think the mic that you're picking me up from is possibly the one built into the camera, which is really rubbish. Or even I've got another camera, a backup camera. It could be that one. Let's try. In fact, let's demonstrate the technology. There you go. There's another camera. Maybe it's picking it up from that one. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let's do some questions then, shall we? And then if you've got any questions for me, feel free to answer them and I'll see if I can pick them up. Picture's not the best, says Mark Salt. Welcome back, though. Sorry about that, Mark. Maybe it's probably a bandwidth issue, we'll see. Robert Foster says, fine now. Philip Shard, still echo on first test. Good, says Vince. Echoing all the way to Australia. Thank you, Robert. Brilliant. Anyway, thanks for joining. And... you know, there's not much going on this time here. And at the moment here in England, of course, we're still in lockdown. So, you know, anyway, let's just have a swig of my beer. So, just throwing me beer all over your notes. It's not a great start, is it? Alrighty, let's crack on. So, first question I've got here is from Rich from London. Howdy, Andy. He says, following on in from Norley's footsteps, would you ever do a round the world motorbike trip? Simple question, Rich. I think probably no. I'd love to do some longer trips, I must admit. I do love the idea of what Norley's trying to do at the moment with, you know, the South America to the north, although obviously that's been curtailed because of the whole COVID thing. I do like that idea, but actually going around the world, nah. I'd like to do an across America trip. I'd like to do some New Zealand, Australia, that sort of thing. I'd also love to do a tour through India. All those things are kind of on the cards for the future, maybe, if I can get it sorted. But around the world, not for me. All right, let me have a look at the text, see what's coming in. Hi to Beth, watching in Nottingham. Sounds all good, says Stuart. Excellent. If you see me daughter about, can you tell her to get home? She shouldn't be out. Thank you very much. She's a uni up at she's at uni in Nottingham. Picture very good. Sound is normal, says Rossi. Matt Rowe, edit it out. Hi Matt, how you doing? William Miller, where is the missus? She's in the other room. Paul Sparrow, I think Teapot has done one. Has he? Oh, I missed that. When did he do that then? I'm usually up to date with what those devils are on about. I'll check it out. Evening from Holmer Green, says trolley bus driver. That's just down the road. Hello, Holmer Green. Mr. Bojangles, hiya Steve. All good, he says. Good. Watching from Ramsgate. Okay, so we've got plenty of Bandit Man's on. Hello to you. Mrs. thinks I'm watching Strictly with her. Nice one, Tony. Nice, good, nice, cool. Actually, I'm a bit of a Strictly fan. I probably shouldn't admit that on here, but, you know, I'm getting old. But this year, I don't know, it just hasn't done anything for me. I don't know if it's because they haven't got the crowd there or what. Or, I don't know. I only watch it for one reason anyway, which is probably the same reason as why you're watching it. You don't need the sound for it. GS Adventure or RT, says JJ. That's a good question. One that I haven't addressed for a while. The RT, of course, is a great bike. It's got much the same kit on it as the GS course, which I know and love, as you know. The Boxer engine. Now the RT's got the 1250 shift cam as well, even better. And they've just redesigned the front of it, haven't they? They've got that whole, it's, you know, slightly better looking. It looks a bit more like the big K1600 now, doesn't it? Which is an improvement. But for me, even though I don't tend to go off-road on my own bike, and the RT would seem to make more sense, I just find the front end of that RT, even now with the redesign, just looks a bit bulbous to me. So no, I would stick with the GS. Although I have to say, those current ones that have come out, you know, the special editions with all the yellow bits. What's all that about? Wouldn't go there. All right, let's see what else we've got. We've got Vince Vance. Great, he's watching from France. Bonjour to you, sir. What else we've got? Hi from St. Petersburg, Florida. 80 degrees there, says Rill, I think it is. 5 miles per hour winds. Fantastic. St. Petersburg. I did some flying there once. Well, just down the road in Clearwater. Love it there on the Gulf Coast, isn't it? Yeah. Got to get back to Florida. That was one of the places I was definitely going to go this year before COVID hit. I got this thing about... before I snuff it, I've got to go and see a space launch, and I'm a massive fan of things like SpaceX. So, and there's so many launches going on now. One of the things I watch a lot on YouTube is stuff about space, and I need to get back to Florida. I need to go to the Space Centre, and I was going to basically go and see if I could hire a bike, ride around Florida a bit, maybe meet a few local YouTubers and some of you guys as well if you're around, and try and coordinate it with the launch. How cool would that be? So that again is in the back of my mind. May not now happen next year because I've got loads to pack into next year, but might be the year after. But definitely that's on the cards. Got to do that. Would love to see a launch. Paul Partridge is in Belfast. Spotty Cat is in sunny Gloucestershire, although I imagine it's not too sunny at this very moment. First ride on a monkey, says Joe Cloivers. Monkey bikes. Funnily enough, I just yesterday recorded my bike news video, you know, my monthly bike news. That'll be going up on Monday, quite a long one. And in it, I talk a bit about the Honda Grom and the Benelli... What's the little one they do? Anyway, I've nothing against those bikes particularly. I think the bikes look quite cool, although I'm not too keen on the current Honda Grom, the new design of it. I think the old one looked better. But what I don't like is the way fully grown blokes look like when they're on them. I just think they look daft. So I've kind of avoided them. I just don't kind of get the whole Grom thing. So, yeah, not for me, unfortunately. I'd like to go on one, to be fair. I did enjoy the little Benelli when I rode that. It was great fun. I just think you look a bit daft. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm far too old to worry about how I look. Clearly, I haven't even had a shave, but this was kind of an unplanned broadcast. But anyway, so yeah, I probably won't be going with the Honda Grom. What else have we got here? Nikki Elliott, hi from Don in Denham. Best ride to a good pub in the Chilterns. Goodness me, there's a question. Best ride to a good pub in the Chilterns. Well, unfortunately, even though the Chilterns is a lovely part of the world, the Chilterns is the sort of range of hills in the area in which I live. And there is nice scenery around here. The trouble is, there's so much traffic around here, so there aren't that many good rides. Plenty of country pubs. To be honest, one doesn't spring to mind off the top of my head. But, I mean, take your pick. Every village has got loads of pubs. But yeah, as far as good riding around here, really, the Chilterns doesn't offer that great riding. There are moments of greatness if you know where to go. But there aren't, you know, you couldn't sort of spend a day having great rides around here, unfortunately. What else we got? Mr. Squeaky Wheel, welcome to TMF Tip Jar. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you. Howdy from Western Colorado, says Jeff. Wow, Colorado. That's somewhere I've never been. I'd love to go and ski there. Again, that's on the bucket list. What else have we got? Gary Tilley, good morning from Geelong, Australia. Hi, Gary. Wow, thank you. So you take the prize for the one furthest away so far. That's incredible. How many people have we got watching at the moment? 616 concurrent viewers. Brilliant. Great for an unannounced thing. Hi from Bristol, says Judith. What else have we got? Where's the wife? Why do people keep asking me when Mrs. Fly? I'm starting to get worried. She's in the kitchen where she belongs. Goodness me, I can't believe it. Keep my voice down when I say that sort of thing. Sorry, I've had a sniff of beer. That's the problem. Oh, that's good. Just in case you're wondering, I've gone Spanish today. Estrella. Very good. When that goes, I'm back onto the Desperado. Right, what's your view on riding in Cornwall, says Kerno Joe. Now, given your flag and the fact you call yourself Kerno Joe, I think I need to tread carefully. Cornwall, you've got to get it the right time of year, haven't you? As you all know more than anyone, lots of caravans, lots of cars, big tourist spot. It can get clogged up. But some great riding there. I once did, I don't know if you saw a set of videos I did, I can't remember what I called them, but I have toured down there. And I did, basically around the coastline in Cornwall, took in some tin mines, that sort of thing. It was great fun. So yeah, I like riding in Cornwall. Again, the problem, well, it's not a problem, maybe it's a good thing from your point of view, but Cornwall's just a long way from anywhere, isn't it? It takes quite a bit to get there. And, unless you're in the sort of southwestern corner of England, it's a long way to go, and you could go to Scotland, and at the risk of offending, let's face it, the riding in Scotland is better. I mean, if you're going to ride from London to the tip of Cornwall, that's pretty much the same distance as going to Scotland. I mean, you may as well go to Scotland. Sorry about that. You probably now won't ever watch again. I do apologise. Well, thank you, Tom. Very kind of you. You enjoyed the Morgan review. That's good. That Morgan three-wheeler video I put up, I don't know if you saw that. I hope you did. I thoroughly enjoyed that, as would have come across in the video. It was just such a hoot to drive that thing. But I was surprised how few people have watched it. I thought the thumbnail was quite good of the picture I took, and I, as I say, thoroughly enjoyed making the video. I thought that would go well, but it hasn't had that many views. It's weird, isn't it, how these things happen? But it just shows there's no showing. As another example of that, actually, I just posted this afternoon. I've got a few videos on my hard disk that I've had for a while, and I've been wondering whether to post them or not, because they're those exhaust sound only videos. I used to make them, and I used to get so much flack for putting them up, but I decided not to post them. But some of them, actually, I think are probably worth posting. So I posted one this afternoon. My thinking being, if you're going to buy a bike, actually, to me, sad though this is, how the bike sounds is quite important to me. So if you're going to buy, I don't know, a new Super Duke RSA, it's quite nice to know what the thing sounds like. So that's why I post those videos up. And I did one of those today, and I thought, I'm just going to get slammed, and it won't get many views. But the last time I checked, I only posted it a couple of hours ago, it had already had about 1,500 views or something. So apparently people do watch them. Anyway, sorry, I'm banging the mic. Not that it probably makes any difference, because I'm not sure this is the mic that's... No, I'll tell you what, if I move that away, I'll stop banging it. And can you still hear me fine? You let me know in the comments if you can still hear me just as well, and I can do away with that thing. Next time I'm going to mic myself up with a lapel mic. Hopefully that'll work better. Or maybe I should just do it in the garage off the phone. It's so much easier if you just do these off of a phone. The problem with the phone is I can't do things like switch to camera 2, which is rather cool. But of course you do get all the technical issues. Right, what else have we got here? Can't hear you work. There we go. It must be that mic working then, isn't it? Isn't that weird? Not loud enough. Better with mic. I don't know what's going on here. This is most odd. Maybe it's just a matter of setting this. If I turn it up a little snifter. There we go. I'm going to turn it up a bit. So I might have got a little bit louder. Can you hear me now okay? Is that working? Is that a goer? Getting some thumbs up. That's good. Yes, it is. Good. Bingo. Well, that's weird, isn't it? When I do a little scratchy, it doesn't seem to show up. What's going on? I don't know. People that don't know what they're doing shouldn't mess with technology, should they? That's what I keep telling their wife. Right, what have I got here? No sound, says Richard. Sound good, says somebody else. That's better. All good. Sounds perfect. Better with that mic. Yes, says Steve. Oh, Steve Dunn. That's good. Hello, Steve. How you doing? I think I replied to one of your comments earlier. Oh, on that subject, actually, thanks very much for all the comments that everybody sticks on my videos still, which is just brilliant that you're doing that. I love a bit of interaction. The only problem is getting to the stage now that I'm struggling to answer them all. Now, what I kind of prioritise YouTube, because, of course, I've got an Instagram feed, and I've got Twitter and Facebook, and people send me emails, and stuff comes in via the website, and there's also people sometimes send me private messages via Facebook and private messages via Instagram, all that sort of thing. So there's all sorts of sources, and I probably get 300-400 messages a day. I definitely 100% I'll read them all, but I do apologise if I haven't responded to you, and I can't promise, if I haven't done already, I can't promise that I will do. So I'm sorry about that. If you desperately want to get in touch with me and I haven't responded to you, the best plan is to put a comment on the YouTube videos, because they're the ones I kind of prioritise. Because my main vehicle is YouTube. Those are the ones that I try and definitely answer. All right, how are we doing on people watching here? 706 is good. When I did this before, I used to do these every month. I never reached 1,000 viewers. I don't suppose for 1 minute I'll be today, because I used to promo them before. I used to tell people I was doing it, whereas this is a... I was rummaging around on my computer, and I was looking through some old files, and I noticed that last live stream I did was almost exactly a year ago, as I say. So I thought, crikey, I really should do another one. Let's answer a couple more questions from last time, and then I'll come back to the comments that come in. I'll just check that everything's working all right here. Where's the Christmas deck? Says Steve Dunn. Bit early for that. I know you've seen a video with someone. Energica, will you test? Says Fentor. Possibly not, actually. I have to be very picky about the bikes that I test these days. I have done a few electric bikes, as you know, and great fun though they are when you first ride them. The acceleration is incredible. That after a while does sort of wear off. And then when you couple in the range anxiety thing, and then the other thing I'm not too keen about electric bikes is the fact that you can hear everything working. You can hear when you brake, you can hear the brake discs whirring. When you go slowly and you do a U-turn, you can hear the steering operating. And there's something missing for me with electric bikes. Not only they're very expensive, so I wouldn't personally buy one at the moment. And there's no doubt they're going to be in our future, but the range thing as well, and there aren't that many that look that good. So I think because there are so many bikes out there that I want to ride now, and so many bikes that I'd like to ride, and I'm very lucky. I get manufacturers coming to me all the time asking if I'll ride their latest bike, which is a brilliant thing to have. But I do have to say no to quite a lot. So the electric ones for now, I'm probably going to say no to. Not saying I'll never ride another one. If something else comes out that I like, I definitely will. But all I'm saying is I probably won't prioritise them. I'd rather be riding the new Triumph Trident or the new Multistrada V4, or all the great bikes that we've seen coming out over the last week or two. It's that time of year, isn't it, when all the new bikes come out? So yeah, that's probably what we'll do there. Right, back to the questions. Let me just strike out the one that I answered so I don't go through them twice. Mark Schreiber, will you ever try and interview Richard Hammond on his bikes? Says Mark. Now, I've thought of all sorts of people that I could potentially try and interview on the channel, but when you get to the likes of people like Richard Hammond, who I'm a massive fan of, by the way, he's a proper bona fide TV celeb, and if I'm overwhelmed by the amount of messages I get, trust me, Richard Hammond is. So I suspect, unless I had a way of getting to him or I knew him personally, which I don't, then my message would just get lost in a sea of messages of people that want stuff from him. So as much as I'd love to speak to Richard Hammond about his bikes, I've got no way of getting hold of him. I don't have any special access. And also, I think, I know that my old mate John, Lamb Chops Rise, he met him once on a launch and was talking to him about his bikes, and he said to him that bikes were very much his hobby. He didn't want to start talking about those too much, publicly, because suddenly it becomes a job again. And I know exactly what he means by that. So the answer to that one is also no. Gosh, I'm being Mr. Negative today. Anyway, that was Mark's question. Let me just see what's happening on the chat, then I'll come back to some more. Bakers like spontaneous, so 1,000 is possible, says Gary Moto. Well, you never know. 738 though, looks like it's levelling off. I'm not holding my breath. Has your Royal Enfield come back to your garage yet? Says Thomas. Very good question, and there's a bit of a story to this actually, which I won't bore you with all the details. Well, I'll give you some. So some of you may have realised I've sent my Royal Enfield Interceptor off to have some radical work doing. In fact, it's a major customisation job. Basically, I'm going to change the bike hugely. I sort of bought that bike with the mind to making it my own. I thought it was a great base for customisation. So back in, I think it was about January time, I did some research on custom shops, and I contacted a few that I'd heard of. I don't have any links or contacts with custom shops. A few never responded. I had one guy, Thornton Hundreds, I don't know if you've heard of them. I was impressed with their work. He said thanks but no thanks. He only works on brand new Triumphs, so he wasn't interested, which was a shame because I love his work. Maybe I'll send him my Speed Twin at some point. Anyway, I eventually found another custom shop that I won't name because it'll be unfair on them, who seemed really good, and they were, I like their work. Based down the south coast, really lovely guys. And anyway, I wrote to them. We got it all sorted out. We agreed a spec. I paid a deposit. This is about, say, January, February time, and they were very busy. And they said that they would take the bike. I think it was in June or July or something like that they were going to pick it up. I can't remember the exact time. So anyway, July came round. So I had a long wait. July came round, or whenever it was. They came and picked the bike up, which was brilliant. They said they thought it would take about 2 months to do the work I wanted. A couple of months went by, didn't hear anything. Turned out they'd had a few delays, other bikes and stuff, so I thought, fair enough, I've waited this long. Anyway, they then said it would be ready sort of about now, end of November. Anyway, got a phone call last week from them, and I thought, oh, great, the bike must be ready to come. And unfortunately, the whole team there had been struck down with COVID, and they hadn't done any work on it. And they said that they were so backed up, they wouldn't be able to do any work on it now until next summer. So I feel really sorry for those guys. Nightmare story for them. Their business, like so many, affected with COVID. So yeah, a shocker. So anyway, they brought the bike back to me this week, and I feel really bad for them that they've not been able to do it, because I was really looking forward to working with those guys. Maybe we'll do something another time. In the meantime, I've been in touch with my old pals at the Bike Den up at Watford, which is the Royal Enfield dealer that I bought the bike from, because in the meantime I'd been to them to get to do something else, and got chatting to them about the fact I was having the bike customised, or I thought I was, and turned out they do some of that work. Anyway, long story short, they've now taken the bike on. I rode it up there yesterday in the freezing cold, which is the first time I've ridden a bike since this lockdown too, but I thought, it's work, I'll do it. And it was absolutely taters, and it cost me 50 quid to get a taxi back. Anyway, that's by the by. So I've left it with them. They seem very keen. They're basically taking the same spec. They're more than able. I've seen work they've done before. Also, hopefully I'm going to be able to film some of it while the work's being done. They're cracking on with it. Should take about a month, they reckon. So again, I'm in no rush. I've waited this long. I don't mind if it takes more than that. So once that's done, I'll be doing a reveal video of what the bike looks like. I'm not going to tell you more about the style of it or the colour scheme. You can probably guess a lot of that, but I cannot wait to get that bike back, because that's going to be the bike I really wanted. So look forward to bringing you a video on that. So I hope that fully answered your question. Okay, let's see what else is coming in. David Jones, hi there, love your reviews. Currently riding a Tuono factory in a KTM SMC and a Ducati 899. What do you think of the new Aprilia 660? A stroke of genius. Hope new Tuono looks similar. Yeah, the new 660 looks great, doesn't it? I don't have that easy access to Aprilias, although, to be fair, I think I've mentioned this before, and I've had a few people contact me saying that if you want an Aprilia, we can sort you out. So I could get one if I really wanted to, and I probably will, because I do like the look of that 660. All the reviews have been amazing, haven't they? It does look cool, and that sort of size engine, that mid-range, is just perfect for the road. I think it could be the perfect road-based sports bike. So yeah, I love the looks of that. I'll wait and see some of the other reviews that come up. There's no doubt I was say no doubt there's been a launch, but of course there aren't many launches now, are there, with the whole COVID thing. But yeah, I definitely want to have a go on the 660. It looks a cracker to me. It'd be very interesting to compare it against the V2, wouldn't it? Which I've also ridden. I've got some videos at the moment that are going up on that. Let me have another swig of my beer. Stand by. Well, by the way, the comments as I'm talking to you flash by very quickly indeed. So again, don't worry if I miss something. I will pick it up, and next time we do a live stream, I'll pick it up there. Once this posts up on my channel as a video, I'll go back and I'll reread all the live chats. So I won't miss your comments if you're typing stuff in there. Sharknose says, we love Mrs. Fly. Well, join the club. I'm starting to get a bit worried about this. Mick the Maverick, what is the story on the CRF? Oh, crikey. Blimey, this is great, isn't it? This is all current stuff. So yeah, the CRF, my beloved CRF. I did love the old CRF. I've had that since 2014. I bought it then. Great bike. And I bought it with a view to doing a bit of off-road riding, because I'd never done any before. Unbeknown to me how difficult it is to do off-road riding here in Blighty. There are very few places you can legally ride a bike. And particularly in the area I live, not many at all. Now, I did take it down to Salisbury Plain. I don't know if you saw those videos in the summer. I had a great time there. That was brilliant, and I was thoroughly intent to go back. But again, long story short, somebody I was talking to, in fact, somebody you may know, Luke Brackenbury from Bennett's Bike Social. You will have seen him on there occasionally. Ex of KTM, lovely guy. And of course, because I'm sponsored by Bennett's as well at the moment, we deal with each other quite a lot. Anyway, turned out he was looking for an off-road bike, and I can't remember, we were just talking about bikes generally, because there was another bike I was very keen on buying that I'd been riding. Before anyone says it wasn't the Goldwing, it's another one on videos that you haven't seen yet. And then we got on the subject of new bikes, and he said he was interested in a CRF, and I've got a real issue with space in my garage at the moment, and because I've exhausted all the local green lanes, I've kind of done everything I intended to do with the CRF. So I said, look, if you're interested, maybe I can sell you my CRF. So long story short, that's what we did. I sold it to him. So if you follow Luke on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, I don't know if it'll appear on Bike Social, possibly not, but I know he's got plans for the bike. You may well see it on his social feed. So it's great, and also he's given me first dibs. If he ever comes to sell it and I want it back, I'll buy it back for him. So that's great. I love the CRF. It's a great bike, and I don't like selling bikes because I take a long time to research bikes that I buy. I try and buy the best that I can for exactly the purpose that I want. And if I end up selling it, I feel I've kind of failed. So yeah, I'm more of a collector than a seller, but that's what happened to the CRF. So yeah, it's no longer in the garage. But don't worry, something will be replacing it very, very soon. I'm waiting a delivery of another bike imminently. More on that as time goes on. Right, what do we got here? Bike Tour of Iceland, says Sharknose. Yeah, love to do that. Nodrogv. TMF, come to Scotland. Lots of off-road riding and no law of trespass. Well, I've done some off-roading in Scotland, ish. I don't know if you've seen some videos. I don't know how long you've been watching the channel, but a couple of years ago, I took my CRF on a trailer up to the Trossachs. Did some riding up there. The videos are on the channel if you want to search them out. Great up there. And I was talking about the fact that, you know, there's no right of the trespass issues, the fact you can go everywhere and all that. And I got absolutely panned in the comments. Turns out that's not the case. You need the landowner's permission, apparently. So I don't know. So on the one hand, I thought you could go wherever you wanted as long as you didn't destroy the place and you, returned it. You didn't damage it in any way. On the other hand, people have said to me, you can't go anywhere you like in Scotland. So I'm not quite sure what the true story is there, but there we go. Jonathan Bowman, NT700. NT700? Welcome to TMF Chip Jar. I'm not, again, I do apologise. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm not entirely sure how these things all work. Or does that mean that you've just joined the TMF Tip Jar? I really should get with the programme, shouldn't I? But anyway, thank you, Jonathan. Whatever you just did, thank you. It looks good. It's come out on my screen with all sorts of fancy stuff going on. Hello from Ecuador, says Peter Smith. Amazing. Wow, how are things in Ecuador? I mentioned my daughter already. I tried not to talk about my kids too much. The one that's in Nottingham, she's going out with a lad from Ecuador. He also is in Nottingham Uni as well. So that's great. Oh, thank you, Wilson. Very kind of you. So yeah, one day I'd like to go to Ecuador. Of course, I didn't realise, but since getting to know this guy, he's called Emilio. Hello, Emilio, if you're watching. Since I got to know this guy, lovely fella, lovely family, I've got to learn a bit about Ecuador. And I never realised, and this is ridiculous, isn't it, that Ecuador is called that because, of course, it's on the equator. Why is that important? Well, of course, it means that it's you don't get all this horrible darkness that we've got at the moment. It's like 6 p.m, 6 a.m, regular as clockwork throughout the year, you got the light or something like that. Anyway, I like the sound of it, but I hope things are all right there as far as COVID's concerned. I'm not too sure how things are going in Central America at the moment. Haven't heard so much on the news about it there, but I know things were somewhat dire, but aren't they everywhere? Excuse me, just have a little swig of my beer again. Alrighty, what else we got happening? Let's have a quick check at the stats. It says here, the chat rate is 16. I don't know what that means. I think that's messages per minute. 16 messages per minute. 4,000 playbacks. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean there's 4,000 people watching? Does it post as it goes? I don't know. And I've got 885 people watching at the moment. Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? 885. Imagine if you were all here, it'd be a tight squeeze. Right, let's read a few more. TMF, there is a weird echo, says Roddy. I know, mate. I know. I do apologise. I hope it's not too bad and you can still hear me okay. I can turn the mic down a bit more and get even closer if you want. Does that help or not? Anyway, let me know. You might go to Ecuador for the wedding. Yeah. Isn't it the father that has to pay? I don't know. I've not done weddings before, but I've got a horrible feeling that I have to pay for that, don't I? Blimey. I better make a few more videos. What else we got? James says XSR 900 v T120. That's an interesting comparison. I love the T120. I love the Bonnevilles, of course, got the Speed Twin, as you probably know, and the T120 is not that dissimilar. I also like the XSR 900. Although the XSR 900, to me, although it was a very sprightly bike, if that's the right word, because it's the triple, of course, isn't it? It felt great to ride. It reminded me very much of my Speed Triple, actually. It's not quite got the retro cachet that the T120's got, I think. So I think it depends what you're in it for. So do you prefer modern feeling triple engines and all that gives you the howl, the best of both worlds between a twin and a four-cylinder, all that good stuff, which I love? Or do you prefer the retro looks of something like the T120? They're both great bikes. Whichever one, if you think they're getting one of them, just get the one you like the look of both. You'll be more than happy. They're both excellent. One of the great things about being a biker in 2020 is that there are so many good bikes out there now, aren't there? You can't really go wrong. Burgo Chris, what industry do you work in? Day job. Love the channel. Keep going. Well, this is it, mate. I regard myself as retired. I do run a company which pays for most of my living, and it almost runs itself, so it doesn't take much of my time. So this is my hobby, or was my hobby before I gave up work, but it's taken off rather well, much better than I thought, and I actually do make a few bob doing this now. So I spend all my time. This is my... although I think of myself as retired because this is really a hobby and I do it for fun. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. This is my occupation, if you like, in that I spend all my time occupied making YouTube videos. So even though it's a Saturday, I spent all day today doing stuff for the channel. But that's fine because I love doing it. I love every aspect of it, from researching stuff to writing stuff. Yes, some of it is written, believe it or not. I love photography. I love the editing process. I love this sort of thing. Talking to you guys is fantastic, and I even love trying to get through all those comments that I whinged a bit about earlier. So yeah, that's this sort of now is my job, but I don't think of it like that. The moment I think of it as a job, I'll probably stop doing it. So I don't want to go there. Don't put that idea in my head. Kids don't marry these days. It'll all be okay, says Raymond. I hope you're right. They could be watching, of course. I doubt it very much, but you never know. What are your thoughts on chicken strips? This is Bruce's travel company, isn't it? No, I know you're not referring to that, really. You're referring to actual chicken strips, aren't you, on your tyres? My thoughts are, well, how can I put this and still be polite? It's a chart that people that criticise others for having chicken strips, and this is from somebody that has chicken strips on all their bikes, so I would say this, wouldn't I? I just think they're being a bit childish. There's no, I have no problem with people that got chicken strips. As I say, I've got them myself. I ain't going to take a file to mine or some sandpaper to make it look like I haven't. When I've done track days, the chicken strips miraculously disappear very quickly because your tyres take an absolute hammering. If you're on the road and you're ending up mullering your tyres in that way, then you're probably riding like an idiot. So I have no problem having chicken strips. If people want to get rid of theirs, that's fine with me. But I think if you criticise for having them, that's just childish, frankly. James Clarkson, wasn't you a pilot? Excellent English there, James. Yes, I wasn't. In that I wasn't a professional pilot. I am still a pilot. It's another hobby of mine, hence the Missenden Flyer. I'm still an active pilot, although at the moment with this lockdown you can't fly. But hopefully after next week, if there's some decent weather, I shall be getting back in the aeroplane again. Particularly because I've just bought myself one of these newfangled GoPro 9 cameras with the amazing horizon levelling, and I want to fit that in the cockpit. And I know people don't watch my flying videos, but I might make one just to see how that goes, because I think doing some steep turns in the plane with that horizon levelling on will just look incredible. So so wasn't you a pilot? Yes, I was, and I still am. Carl Gauntlet, I'm waiting for my BMW 310R. Can't wait. Congratulations, Carl. Very exciting times waiting for a bike, isn't it? As I know. So yeah, enjoy that. Part of the fun, actually. A word about the new Multistrada V4. Are you getting one, says Hugo. Well, I'm not getting one as in buying one. If you mean am I going to borrow one, no firm plans. I've actually said to the bike manufacturers, this sounds outrageous, but I've said to them, look, please don't plan to give me any bikes until at least February because I've just got so much stuff that I've got to post up and it gets a bit overwhelming, the amount of stuff to catch up with. And I don't just want to do bike reviews here on the channel. As I say, I do this for fun. So I want to pick, next year the change is going to be, I'm going to pick stuff that I particularly enjoy. So I'm only going to do stuff that I want to do for fun. So in the case of the Multistrada V4, I am quite keen to ride that bike. So that will be one I'll ride if Ducati let me, and I don't see any reason why they won't. So yeah, it will be on the channel next year, but you won't be seeing it for a while. I'm sure there'll be other people doing reviews of the V4 before me, but it looks great, doesn't it? I love the new design of it. The engine will no doubt be epic. It was great in the Panigale V4. It's not much different. I'll talk more about that, in fact, on Monday's bike news. So stick around and stay tuned for that on Monday. How are we doing? So we've got 20 in the chat rate, so you're typing more, thank you. And I've got 927 concurrent viewers now. It's amazing. Come on, let's have another 73. Phone your friends up, get them to watch. I've got to break the 1,000. I was amazed. I was watching Norley do her live stream the other day. Did you see that? And she casually mentioned she had 4,000 people watching. I was gutted. Anyway, seething with jealousy. What's a chicken strip? My bikes haven't got any. Okay, Gambo, you see, you're off. ET04, I think I speak for everyone when I say we would love some aviation content. Well, you don't speak for everybody, I'm afraid, because whenever I post it, they don't get very many views, and they do take quite a lot of making those videos. If I'm doing flying vids, which, again, I love doing because I love the photography, clearly I love the flying, I always think they come out quite well because it looks quite spectacular from the air. The GoPros work really well. But they never get many views, but they take a lot to make them. They're a bit more involved than doing them on a bike, and I'm also aware that flying actually is a little bit more complicated than riding a motorcycle. Not hugely, but you do have to properly think about what you're doing because obviously there's a bit more at stake. I'm not saying riding a motorcycle isn't dangerous too, but you've got to be on the ball in front of the airplane, and when you're flying, the priority is flying the airplane, not making a video about it. So it's quite tricky to make them. There's a bit of hassle to do it. When I'm flying, what I like to do, because I've do things in a certain way. I'm very ritualistic and planned, and I use particular checklists, etc. I don't like anything getting in my sort of workflow that is different from what I'm used to. And when I'm trying to record a video, it can get in the way a bit. Normally, if it's a straightforward flight, something I do often, like, I don't know, a trip to Duxford or down to the Isle of Wight or local stuff, no problem, because I can do that a lot at the back of my hand. But if I'm doing something a little bit more involved, if I'm, I don't know, do a cross-channel flight or flying over the Alps or something, which is not something I do very regularly, then I probably wouldn't film that, because it's just that much more complicated from a flying point of view. So hope you understand that. What else we got? How do from South Africa, says Andre. How do to you, sir? Is that a South African term? Another one on the list. Got to do South Africa. Be lovely down there now, I bet, as well. Oh, gutted. Right, shared. Let's hit 1,000. Yes, thank you very much, Dano. What else we got coming through? Best retro for a big lad, says Alan Broughton. Funnily enough, I had this question earlier on a comment on one of my videos, and I can't remember what I answered. Tricky. Depends how big you are, of course. I mean, they'll all do. I mean, even if you're like 25 stone, any bike will take that. Well, maybe not any bike. Maybe not the monkey bike we were talking about earlier, or the Grom. I'm not sure. It's a good question. Probably something like the big Scrambler 1200 from Triumph. That's a physically big bike. So that's probably a good option, rather than, say, the 900 Scrambler. I think it's a 900, isn't it? Which is physically a small bike, and don't get a T100. Can't think of any other particularly large ones. The Moto Guzzi V7, is it? That was quite a big bike. Let me know in the comments, anyone else, if you can think of a retro that would suit a large fella. That would be good. All right, what we've got here, Gavin Fraser. Since you're a GS fan, since you like the 900 Tiger, do you think the new big Tiger that will replace the T200... if it's good as the 900 or better, would it replace your GS? Right, think I got it, Gavin. Think I got it. Let me know if you can still hear me okay, by the way. The 1200 with me has always had a bit of a checkered background. I've never been a massive fan. On paper, it's a great bike, isn't it? It's got all the right things. It looks nice. Pricing is always quite keen compared to the equivalent BMW. And I'm sure the new 1200, if and when it comes, I haven't got any inside information, by the way, about this, but everybody seems to think that there's one coming, and there probably is. It's got to go some. The issue I have with the 1200, as much as I love triple engines, as I mentioned before, is that it's just that much heavier up top than things like the GS that holds its weight very, very low. So unless they did something amazing about the weight distribution, no, it probably wouldn't replace the GS. It would have to be absolutely flipping amazing to do that. So yeah, sorry about that. If you're a Tiger 1200 fan, what's your thoughts on the R6 being discontinued, says Craig. Shame, isn't it? It's a shame when any bike, especially an iconic one like that, is discontinued. I love the R6 when I rode it, but if bikes don't sell, then manufacturers aren't going to continue them, are they? That's that's the way it works, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a shame that it's gone. But there we go. Maybe it'll come back at some point. I don't know. With things like, if the Aprilia 660 does well, who knows? Maybe other manufacturers will sit up and think, maybe we should get back in that market. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? What else we got? Erwin, did you hear something re Kawasaki hybrids TMF? No, I don't think I did. Have I missed something? Guy loves his VFR 800. Great, they're amazing bikes, aren't they? You might have seen me ride Richie Vida's a while back, which I was privileged to ride. It's a bike I've been thinking a lot, actually, particularly if I had more room. Unfortunately, I haven't, but I'd like to buy some older bikes and just live with them for a short period, 6 months to a year, sell them on, buy another one, and do some videos on that bike. And the VFR 800 would probably be top of that list. That engine just sounds awesome, doesn't it? And you can buy them for such a good value as well at the moment. It's I was looking in MCN the other day. I always have a little thumb through the adverts at the end of the paper, and there was some really nice looking VFRs in there for like less than £2,000. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah, if you're on a budget and you want a great tourer, VFR 800 all the way. Blimey, I need to top up the beer supplies. Bear with me. How are we doing on the views on the people? 968. Well done. You're drumming them up. So if my maths is correct, what do we need? Another 32? Is that right? Yeah, sounds about right, doesn't it? And bingo, we'll be into the 1,000. I'll keep rabbiting on for a bit. Let's see if we can do it. Oh no, now I've got a target to beat. Fast bike or fun bike, says Alan. Well, for me, got to be a fun bike. Unless you're going to be, if you love track riding and you go and do a lot of track days, then fine, go fast. But on the roads, you can't, can you? Especially not here in Blighty. We've got narrow roads, prohibitive speed limits. Get a bike that makes you smile would be my advice. Some of the best bikes I've ridden have been not very powerful ones. I mean, we mentioned earlier the Royal Enfield Interceptor. There's no surprise to me that they've sold so well because they're just great fun to ride. Bit like, I mean, it's not a bike, but that three-wheeler Morgan I drove the other day, the video I put up a couple of days ago, it was just great fun. I mean, on paper and in every other way, it made no sense whatsoever. And it was very expensive. I don't deny that. But it was such great fun. And, I'd have that over other cars that seem more sensible any day of the week. It was great fun. What else we got? Straight cut motorcycles. Have you ever considered doing a project bike? Yes, I have many times. A couple of things stopped me. One, space in the garage is the first thing. I can't remember who told me about that, but apparently they take up a lot of space when you have a bike in bits in your garage, and I just don't have a lot of spare space. So that's a bit of an excuse. The other one is I just haven't got the skill. I'm rubbish with the spanners. If you've ever seen any of my videos of me attempting to do stuff on my bikes, it invariably goes wrong. I don't know why, because I'm not stupid, and I come from a relatively technical background, but for some reason I pick up a pair of spanners, I'm rubbish. So no, I won't do that, which is why I end up giving the Royal Enfield to the experts to do the customisation job. I think it would have made a great set of videos, but I just haven't got the skill to do it. I do toy with the idea of buying something simple, maybe a basic 125cc single cylinder or an old two-stroke or something, and take it to bits, give it a clean up, put it back together again. I think that would be fun. But again, space then gets in the way. But we'll see. I've been thinking about whether I should rent a little garage somewhere so I can put some of my bikes in there and then make a bit of space. But so far, no luck finding anyway. All right, what else we got? I got a big garage, says Guy. Do you live round the corner from me? If so, can I stick my bikes in there? Paul Harris, what's happened to the CRF? Covered that earlier, Paul. I sold it a couple of weeks ago to somebody that is quite active on the online world. So you might still see it, and it might come back one day because he's given me first dibs. If he comes to sell it, I can buy it back off of him, which I might do. 964, we've gained another viewer. Thank you if you just joined. We're trying to get to the magic 1,000. Moto Michelle, oh, hello. I test rode the new BMW R18 last week. Great bike, but heavy. Would you own a cruiser? Yeah, the R18. What a bike that is, isn't it? That's the bike that I didn't think I liked the look of when I saw the pictures of that when it came out. But then when I rode it and saw it up close, it's beautifully made. It's like a jewel, isn't it? Would I own a cruiser? I think the answer is yes. I'm very fortunate. I've got a number of bikes for different purposes. So I've got my Street Triple when I want a lightweight blat. I've got my Panigale if I want to go fast. I've got my GS if I want to tour. I've got the bases covered. I've got retro bikes. It's all good. And I'm a believer in having the right bike for the right purpose. So if I want to go cruising, then a cruiser would definitely be on the cards. I'm not in any way a snob when it comes to that. But they are kind of one-trick ponies. I personally wouldn't want to go touring on a foot-forward cruiser, although, of course, the R18 isn't feet forward. I'd have an R18 in a heartbeat if I had space for it. Yeah, lovely bike. Or any other cruiser for that matter. What else we got? Joe says a Milliard Morgan three-wheeler is what I would like to see. Yeah, so would I. Was it you that commented that the other day? Said about getting Alan Milliard to make a copy of a Morgan three-wheeler or something similar. I wonder if he's thought of that. Next time I speak to him, I'll see. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? He could knock one of those up in an afternoon, couldn't he? Could make a fortune, flogger knows. What else we got? Richard Murray, is Suzuki dishing the V-Strom 650? I've no idea, mate. As I remember watching your R9T Scrambler, this is AZ saying this review, and you weren't a big fan, would you revisit it with non-knobbly tyres? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I didn't re-ride it, but after that video I was talking to the dealer about it, and they tried it without the knobblers, and they said it had transformed it. So I completely get that. That was the only issue I had with the bike, because it looked lovely, and those R9Ts, again, are like jewels, aren't they? They're beautifully made. And the Scrambler did look nice. So, 100%. Without knobblers, it would be a fantastic bike, I'm sure. Alrighty. Anyone got any plans for riding next year, by the way? Just be interested to see where you're planning on going. I've got loads of places I want to go. It's just a matter of prioritising and fitting them all in, but we'll see. What else we got? 1,000, yeah. What? Have we got mine says 990. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but we're getting close. That's amazing. So when I'm doing this, can you see how many people are concurrent then? I'm rubbish at this. I really don't understand how these live streams work. I don't understand how my own microphone works, let alone this. This is good. GS still the bike you keep if only allowed one, J-Lo staff. Hello, John. Yes. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Yeah, very much so. I still personally haven't found a better all-rounder, even though I don't take it off-road. I just love the GS. I don't want to go on and on about GSs. I'll leave that to Bruce. But they are great. And if I could only have one bike, I rode mine, it's over a month ago now, but I don't get to ride it that often. But I did think to myself, yeah, this bike is still got it. They're great bikes. Hiya TMF says, Guy, quick, if money and space not a problem, what bikes would you get? Great question, Guy. If money and space not a problem. 1,002 it says here to me. Thank you so much. I've reached the 1,000 viewers at once. That's amazing. My job is done here. I can go now. Brilliant. What bikes money no object? Great question. That new Panigale that was in MCN last week. I can't remember what it's called. but that is amazing. The one in the grey colour scheme, I'd have one of them for sure. I'll probably have I might have the R18 in there as well. It's going to be a big garage, by the way. I would definitely have a Ducati Street Fighter. Got videos on that coming up soon. Brilliant bike. I'd definitely have a Honda Goldwing for big tours. Awesome bike, best bike I've ever ridden without a doubt. BMW GS would be there, of course, just because of, in that case, sentimental value. What else would I have? What am I missing? Some retros, probably the whole Bonneville range, probably a Ducati Scrambler, the big one. I love is it the 1100 Scrambler? I think it is, isn't it? I love that when I rode it in Tuscany with Tuscany Motorcycle Tours. That was fantastic. What else would I have? What am I missing? Something small. I like the look. Actually, oddly, I personally like the look of that new Triumph Trident. Possibly one of them. And also I read, and I didn't put this in my bike news, I meant to, I skipped over the article, forgot the video that's coming out on Monday. BSA, there's a lot of talk about those in the last couple of weeks. Mahindra, the parent company, are saying they're going to launch them. I think within the next year here in the UK. They're saying great things about it. Some people I know have seen some images of what they might look like and are saying they're going to be absolutely amazing. I think they might have Royal Enfield on the run slightly. So I cannot wait for the new BSAs, so I'll have one of them as well. I think they're going to fly off the shelves. Right, what else we got? Mr. Super Duke says 1,000. Yes, thank you very much. That's great. 1,004, according to my stats. Alan, NC 500 for next year. Excellent. You're going to do that. What a great trip. I'm assuming you may have seen my video of the NC 500. There is no better riding here in the UK. If you choose your time and get the weather right, you'll have an absolute blast. What a brilliant ride that is. But don't try and do it too quickly. I can't remember how long I took now, but I think you need at least 5 days to do it. Although it's not big distances, some of the roads are pretty twisty-turny, and it takes a long time to cover distance on the NC 500. You'll get some spectacular views. Take it easy, enjoy the views. You'll have a great time. It's just fantastic. Thank you very much, CRZE Aura. Very kind of you. Would the Goldwing replace the R1200 at some point? Well, you never know. Again, like I said earlier, the GS is a great all-rounder. It's just good at everything, whereas the Goldwing is, brilliant bike though it is a one-trick pony. It's the best bike I've ever ridden for two-up long-distance cruising in comfort. But it's not a bike you'd necessarily want to commute to work on, or, although I'm sure some people do commute, or do the odd fire road on, although I'm sure some people do the odd fire road on. So it's a bit like I was saying before with cruisers, a bit of a one-trick pony. If that's the trick you like doing, and I do like touring, then great, fill your boots, go for it. But yeah, in a one-bike garage, a Goldwing couldn't replace a GS, is my view. Thank you, Chris. Very kind of you. What else we got? Mark Hayton, Yamaha best bike, Wigan to John O'Groats in one day. This is the XT1200. I'm not familiar with that, Mark. I can't believe that. What am I thinking? Has it got a name? Why don't I know what that is? 1,005 viewers now. Thank you very much, folks, for sticking around. God, I can't believe this. This is amazing. I hope I'm not boring you too much. Simon Bauer, hi TMF. What was your first bike? Mine was a 1978 CB125. Cheers, Simon. I've covered this before, but I'll tell you. Technically speaking, the first bike I had a financial interest in was a Pooch. I think it was called a Pooch Maxi. It was a moped. We called it the Consort Machine. Me and a bunch of students bought it. Piled it in the back of my old Mark II Ford Escort, and we had a lot of fun with it. But anyway, wind forward 20 odd years, and in this stint, since I did my direct access and rode bigger bikes, which is only about 10 years ago, my first bike that I sort of learnt to ride was a 600cc bike. It was a Yamaha Diversion. What were they called? They had some letters that went with them. A something Diversion. It wasn't the original Diversion, which I think was 900, wasn't it? This was the 600 one. A lovely looking bike, actually. I bought it brand new. I remember it cost me at the time about $6,500, which is quite a lot of money 10 years ago. Bought it brand new, loved it. Got fed up with it within 6 months. Sold it on for about $3,000. So the guy that bought it got an absolute steal. It had very little miles on it. But yeah, that was in this stint, my first proper big bike was the Yamaha Diversion. Great bike to learn on. It was a 4-cylinder, so it was very smooth, but it had very little go low down. So you had to really wind it up. It was very revvy. That's kind of what put me off that. What else we got here? Oh, thank you very much for that. My uni burned down. That's a bit unfortunate. What else have we got? Dave Green, so XJ6. That was it. Thank you very much, Dave. And synchronizification. It was an XJ6. That was the one with the fairing. Was that technically an XJ6F? I don't know. It was the red one. It was a great bike, actually. Oh, that was the other thing I did. Not only did I pay the $6,500 for it brand new, but I also bought loads of baggage, proper GV baggage, and I had the rear light put in the top box. This is in the days when I had a lucrative job and money was not a problem. And it was absolutely kitted out, had heated grips. I mean, it had everything you could possibly want. So the guy that bought it from me got an absolute bargain. It was as good as brand new and basically half price. still, you can tell I still bear a grudge. But that's how much they were going for second hand. You just don't see those bikes anymore. You're a bit like phasers and things. They were all the rage then. The Phaser 1000 was a beast of a bike. You just don't see them around now. They're not even available much second hand. That would be a great bike to have, wouldn't it, as a mess about bike in the garage. Right, what we got here? Replace 1200 for a 1250 GS, says Torre. Sorry if I'm getting your words wrong. I'm not wearing my glasses. Vanity prevents me wearing glasses while I'm doing this, and it means I can barely read your comments. Everybody raves about the 1250, don't they? The shift cam engine says how much better it is than the original 1200 GS, the type I've got. And it is better, there's no doubt. It's got a much nicer gearbox, the quick shifter works better, and it goes faster. But it's not that much different. Now, if I was to sell my bike, which is still in pretty good nick, and I've done lots of stuff to it, it's got lots of extras like heated seats and electronic looms and extra lights and all kinds of stuff in there that will have cost me quite a lot of money to do. I haven't totted it up, but it's, a few grand's worth of extras on there. But nonetheless, if I was to sell that bike now, because it's a 2014, I'd be lucky if I got, I don't know, I haven't looked at the market, but I'm assuming it's about 8 grand for that bike. And if I wanted to get a similarly spec'd up new GS, then you're looking near a 20. So I've got to find 12 grand to do that upgrade to a 1250. Well, is the difference, the betterness of the 1250 worth 12 grand to me? Simple answer, absolutely not. It's not 12 grand better than new bike. There's absolutely nothing wrong with my GS, and it's now got a sentimental value because I did that trip to the Arctic Circle on it, and I've done lots of other trips on it as well. There's something about that bike that means I want to keep it. So again, if I've possibly got space, that's going to be a keeper forever. And I'm not done with it yet. There's going to be more trips on that bike for sure. It's great as a touring bike, 1 up, and indeed 2 up. So yeah, you're going to see more of the GS. I have no plans to get rid of it unless it goes terribly wrong or keeps giving me loads of problems. Then I might look to buy it. But at the moment, no plans to get rid of it for a 1250. Although I do agree, the 1250 is a better bike. It's not 12 grand's worth better. Okay, what else is going on? Oh, we've gone down to 990. I'm gutted. I've lost some. Never mind. We got there in the end, didn't we? So thank you for that. What have we got? Still happy with my R1200 GSA, says Andy. Yeah, exactly. If you like what you got, this is one of the things. I'm very lucky, aren't I? Because I get to ride all the latest and greatest bikes, and I get very excited about some of them because I read about them in the magazines and papers like you do, watch the videos, and they're touted as the best thing since sliced bread, and they are very good. As I said earlier, it's a great time to be buying a bike now, isn't it? There's some great stuff out there. But I've also ridden some older bikes. I rode my mate Lyndon's Fireblade, which I think was from 1990. I rode the SP1 from Bennett's a while back. Can't remember what year that was now, but that was getting on a bit. And these bikes feel great when you ride them. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, there's a bit of Emperor's No Clothes going on here. New bikes, great though they are, and lovely it is to have a brand new thing. They're not that much better than older bikes, to be honest. Can't remember what the question was now. But anyway, that was part of the answer to it. What have we got here? How much more frightening is riding a motorcycle compared to cycling fast downhill, says Phil Silver. So have you not ridden a bike then, Phil? I'm wondering if that's a genuine question. I have no reason to think it's not. It's not more frightening. In fact, I would say going down a steep hill on a cycle is more frightening because the brakes on a bicycle are that much more flimsy, aren't they? Or at least last time I went down a steep hill on a bicycle, they were pretty flimsy. They felt like, you'd brake and the pads would fly off. These days they have disc brakes, don't they? So I'm sure it'd be better. But yeah, so it's not more frightening at all. In fact, I'd say it's better because you've got a better ride with the suspension. They feel more planted with the bigger wheels. You're in control, better brakes. It's I think going on a push bike is more frightening down a steep hill. What else we got coming in? Do you use different insurers or just have a huge multi-bike policy, says Ashley Carpenter. Well, surprise, surprise, my insurance is through Bennett's. That's part of the deal we have. And it's all on one big multi-bike policy. One, again, this is a first world problem. I'm not looking for sympathy here. But when you've got a number of bikes, maintaining all the documentation, keeping them all MOT'd, insured, taxed, all that stuff is a bit of a pain. So if you can do stuff all in one go with like a multi-bike policy, then that's the way to go. So that's what I've done with Bennett's for my bikes. So they're all on one multi-bike policy. I mean, in fact, in the background, the way these insurance companies do, I think they're all probably written off on different policies against other underwriters. But as far as I'm concerned, it's one policy, and that works for me. Brakes on my Trail MTB are absolutely awesome, says Mark. Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure it's a long time since I went down a steep hill on a push bike. So yeah, I bet they are. John says, crack on. Thank you, John. What else we got in terms of question? What's the new bike on the market which you would like to buy? The new bike on the market? Well, I don't want to give away too much because the videos haven't come up yet, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's the bike that I was very tempted to buy this year, and I still may, is the Ducati Street Fighter. A bike that, again, when I first saw it in the pictures, I thought, what have they done? They've taken a lovely bike in the Panigale and destroyed it. But then I rode it. What a beautiful bike that is. Loads of videos coming up on the channel in the next few weeks on that, so I'll say no more, but the Street Fighter, awesome bike. Love that. Speed Twin or R9T, says Vince Chadwick. Oh, I haven't seen your name for a while, Vince. Good to have you back. Well, I bought a Speed Twin, so does that answer that one? What else we got coming up? 4Tech69. What's your thoughts on the 2020 FJR 1300? Very seriously considering getting one. Might be available in the US in 2022. I didn't know there was a new FJR 1300. Great news if there is. I love the old one, so I presumably would love the new one. Oh, thank you very much, my uni burned down. Is the 2006 CB500 solid for my first A2 bike? Yes, I don't see why not at all. Perfect, in fact, I would say. Assuming you've ridden a 125 and done the first bits of the test up to the A2 bit. So yeah, CB500, perfect choice. Yeah, go for it. Great bike. Cars, motorbikes and mountain bikes. Mrs. Flyer going through a bike test series, question mark. Interesting you should say that. Because yes, she is. In fact, she's got a CBT booked for next week. So I think it's next week. So provided we don't have any COVID lockdowns or anything untoward happens, then yeah, she'll be doing that. I'm going to try and take some videos. Unfortunately, the place that she's getting the CBT done, they got some issue with the landlord and they won't let me video, which is a right pain. So what I'll probably do is talk to her before she does it, talk a bit about CBTs and then talk to her experience after it, see how she got on. And then I'm hoping to get hold of a 125 that she can ride and practice on with me with L plates, and then we'll do some videos together of riding around. So that's the plan. That's assuming she likes it. Again, it's one of these things, as much as I love motorbikes, I never try and pressurise anybody else to get into it. I've not pressurised her in any way to do so. I think it has to be your own decision. It is an inherently dangerous thing, so people have to go into it with their eyes open. So if she decides she doesn't like it, that's fine with me. It'd be a shame, but there we go. So fingers crossed she likes it, and if that's the case, then I'll be doing some more videos all about learning to ride, following her story, if she'll let me, through her test and so on. That should be fascinating, because I do think I've got quite a few new riders that watch the channel, and I think might make quite an interesting series of sort of how to get your bike license type thing. Maybe I'll do that, but I need to tap up some friendly local learning to ride places. I don't know any actually, but I'll need to do some research. We'll see how she gets on with the CPT. I'll keep you informed anyway, and there will definitely be some videos coming up on that. Oh, over 1,027 concurrent viewers it says here. It's getting better. Brilliant. Right, let's get back to the questions. Transalp for first bike, says Ben Rowlinson. Transalp, that's quite a big one, isn't it? Might be a bit before my time. How big is the engine? My general view is get something around a 600cc, but more importantly is the power. I mean, you can break that rule if you're getting something that is low powered, but something way less than 100 horsepower. So I would say sweet spot, new big bike, 70 horsepower, something like that would be perfect, because it's enough power to enjoy, overtake with ease, understand how powerful and fast motorcycles are, but it's not so much power that you're going to lose your license or worse, your life. Right. Yorkshire Dashcam. When Ewan McGregor got the wife involved, it ruined the long way down. Did he get her involved? Interesting. Now, that's an interesting point, though, in all seriousness, because I did worry about that as well. And so I don't want to, by any means, force my missus on the channel. So she'll come and go. I mean, I got nothing but good feedback from when I've been on tour with her. We did the one in Spain with Toro Adventure, which was fantastic. We went with our pals, did some riding around there on the GSs. I think it was called something like First Tour 2 Up, or Touring 2 Up, it was called. I thoroughly enjoyed making it. It was great fun. It was the first time I'd done a tour with her on the back. It's the first tour she had done, and it sort of got her into it a bit. We all loved that, and those videos were quite well received. And then I did the one this year in Wales on the Gold Wing again. I haven't had any negative feedback. No one has said, get her off, it's rubbish. In fact, quite the opposite has been the case. They've been telling me to get off and bring her on. So I will continue to do that. Not exclusively. If I start to get lots of bad feedback, then obviously we'll change things. At the end of the day, I don't want to ruin the formula that seems to be working quite well. But if it adds an extra dimension to the channel, people enjoy it. If it encourages more ladies to watch the channel, of course, many ladies watch the channel anyway, of course, why wouldn't they? But if it encourages more females to get into biking, then I'm all for that. So yeah, I'll do that. Right, how are we doing for time? I don't remember what time we started. I think we must have been on about an hour. I don't want to outstay me welcome. Let me know if when you've had enough. If the numbers start to drop, I'll go. But between you and me, I didn't have much to do this evening. I thought, well, I can sit and watch some rubbish stuff on the TV, or I can go and do a live stream and have a chat to my mates, and have a beer. So that's what I'm doing. Have you hurt yourself on a bike yet? Says James Clarkson. Don't ask those sort of things. Luckily enough, no, not really. Well, I've had a few minor scrapes. I used to have a Triumph Tiger 1050, great bike, but quite top heavy. I was coming up to a junction on that once, put my foot down, the old classic thing, put my foot into a pothole, so it went down further than I thought. Bike went over the critical angle. of course, I love my bike, so I desperately wanted to hold the thing up and not drop it, even though it had gone past that point of what I thought was no return. I absolutely manhandled it up, and in so doing, thought I'd broken my wrist and ended up in A&E. I hadn't broken it; I just strained it. So that hurt for months afterwards, and gave me a lot of trouble riding. So that was probably the worst one, which is nothing really. I did come off me CRF once when I was coming back from a ride. I was going down a back lane. I learnt a valuable lesson here. It was a bit of a wet, very narrow lane. I went around a blind corner, a bit faster than I should have done probably, and there was an oncoming car. Grabbed a handful of brake like you do, no ABS on that bike, front wheel locked, ended up in the hedge. Great thing about the CRF, very resilient bike, absolutely no damage done to it. And I didn't actually harm myself, just my pride. So that was the only other off I think that I've had that I can remember. I've dropped a few bikes, but I've never, touched wood, harm myself yet, and I intend to stay that way. Funny enough, I got talking about that. I had a video coming up soon on airbags on bikes because I had that Goldwing in the summer. I recorded a little snippet when I had that because that had an airbag built in. I've also been wearing a Helite airbag jacket, which has been brilliant, and also I've got a Dainese jacket with an airbag. So I've done a video about the differences between the different types of airbags. So if you're interested in that from a safety angle, that's coming up soon. Right, what else have we got? Let me just check and make sure none of these messages are saying we can't hear you anymore or anything like that. So excuse me while I squint at the screen. Oh, Steve reminded me I dropped the electric bike. You're quite right, Steve, I did. And I didn't hurt myself, but I hurt that bike. You're quite right. Yeah, good one. Oh, and hello to Beans. Nice to see you, mate, as well. Beans, I haven't seen you for ages. He's got a channel as well. I can't remember what you're riding now. Didn't you get Harley? Actually, the last time I saw you, were riding an R18 on your channel, weren't you? Yeah, exactly. What else we got? Always good to get Mrs. TMS views, says Mark Taylor. That's great. As long as if I keep getting feedback like that, then we'll get her involved when we can. That's absolutely fine. Tim Roman, great to see you, Tim. Thanks for all your support over the years. You're always commenting on the videos. There's lots of names here I recognise, which is fantastic. Motorcycle with ejection seat. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what that electric bike was like. It felt like I was on an ejection seat. What else we got going on? Really missed the Scrams, says Darren. I think you mean Scrams, the biker scram with Jeff and Dan. Yeah, me too. I mean, this year it's been difficult with the whole COVID thing, hasn't it? Unfortunately, Jeff's had some personal issues that's got in the way of that, unfortunately, but we hope to be doing that again soon. Certainly, whether I film it or not, I don't know, but yeah, the three of us are in touch all the time, and we will be riding out again soon. We'll see if I film them. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I miss them too. You're looking a bit trim and putting us all to shame, says Fraser. You haven't taken up cycling or something daft like that. Don't worry, Fraser, I haven't. Even though I seem to be always drinking on camera these days. I only drink at weekends. Funny enough, I've been having a lot of messages about this recently. In fact, there was a post on Instagram only today talking about this. I don't want to bore people to death with it, but I have lost a bit of weight over the last few years. I've lost nearly 3 stone, and this was a concerted effort on my part. When you do YouTube, you do see obviously your editing videos, you see what you look like, and I just got too porky for my liking, and I decided it's all in the mind. I need to get fit and healthy, so I basically went on a massive, I'll call it a diet, but really it's a lifestyle change, and stopped eating all the things that you shouldn't eat. And lost the weight, and obviously the trick is to keep it off, and I'm working very hard at that. I also do quite a lot of exercise, but the reason I mention it is lots of people say, can I do a video on how I did it? Now again, this could be a recipe for disaster, because it could immediately turn everybody off, a bit like when I did that 3-wheeler thing and I got somebody saying, oh, don't do car videos, this is rubbish. So if I suddenly did a fitness video, not that you're going to see me prancing about in Lycra, although I'm happy to do that if you want me to, then I think I could turn off a lot of viewers. But at the same time, if it'll help people, I'm happy to tell people how I've done it. I mean, there's no real magic to it, but it is quite hard, and there was a definite tactic I've used, so that might come at some point, above and beyond the motorcycle stuff. Every day is the weekend when you're a YouTuber, says KJ Bunny. Is that KJ? Yeah, KJ Bunny Boiler. Well, yes, I understand what you're saying, I think. Although you could also say that you don't get a weekend. But I'm not complaining. I love doing this stuff, so it's fine with me. It's fine with me. How long have you had your drone PFCO, says Tim Jones. I've no idea what a PFCO is, so that might be bad. Although I do have a drone license thing that you have to get from the CAA, and I've just renewed mine. They only started last year anyway. I've had my drone for, I don't know, however long since the Mavic Air has been out. Couple of years, and I am fully legal in terms of the licensing, etc. required. So put your mind at rest there. You don't see too much drone stuff on my channel because there aren't many places you can fly them. And even abroad, particularly abroad, you have to be very careful. I'm always amazed when I see on other people's YouTube channels all this drone stuff, because I'm pretty sure they haven't looked into the local laws to see if you're allowed to fly them, because places like you'd think you could, like Spain and stuff, it's actually quite hard to fly drones legally. So I'm very careful about that, because I don't know whether if I was done for illegally flying my drone somewhere, whether that would impact my actual pilot's license. It may not have anything to do with it, but you never know. As an active pilot, I should know better, so I'm very sure to follow the rules when it comes to dronage. So I like to do it when I get the chance, but more often than not, places that you want to fly the drone, you're not allowed to. It's a real shame. Womble, what you think about the upgraded Tracer GT? Looks great, doesn't it? Yeah, the GT looks good. The one I'm not so keen on is the MT-09, the standard one with those new lights on it. Looks a bit weird. And the new GT, the Tracer, has that's the one with the two TFTs, isn't it, as well, which is quite different. I quite like the look of that, actually. More about that in my bike news on Monday, so stay tuned for that. I'll talk at length about that. What model drones that you've got, says Clive? I've got the Mavic. It is the Air, you know, the little one, the previous little one. Great little drone. But unfortunately, it is over the weight limit, so you do have to do the licensing and stuff. Whereas the current little one, I don't know what it's called, the Mavic Mini or something, excuse me, that you don't need to get the license and go through all the hassle, the little test and all that stuff. So I'm tempted to upgrade so I don't have to do that every year. Not that it's a big hassle, but you got to remember to do it. There's a cost associated with it and all the rest of it. If you just have the smaller one that's within the weight limit, you've got none of that hassle, so I might go there. That said, vis-a-vis my other point, you, of course, there's not, whether it's under weight limit or not, you still have the same restrictions about where you can fly it. So it does beg the question, is it worth it? Although they do add a dimension to videos, I absolutely agree. And if you're on exotic tours and exotic places, they look great. Okay, I better wrap up soon. What have we got going on here? David says, loving the live show to us. Thank you very much, David. That's very kind. I'm always amazed how people stick on these for so long. I've been on an hour. Got 1,091 people watching now, and I've got a lot of curve in front of me, and it's going up all the time. It's just amazing. So thank you so much for all your support, watching, making this all possible. It's been, I'm tearing up now. It's great. It's great. So thank you very much for watching and commenting and all the stuff that you do. It's brilliant. Oh, and thank you, Paul, for that donation as well. Very kind of you. That'll go in the tank. What you're saying there, the next Moto Cap star rating reports on motorcycle clothing will be published in mid-December, including a few shocking results. That's interesting. So that motorcap.com.au site that Paul is referring to is the one, and that's Paul in Shanghai. This is not any old Paul. This is Paul who knows everything there is to know about motorcycle safety ratings. Paul Varnsfree. Hope I got that right, Paul. But anyway, he's known as Mr. CE Clothing in this house. So if there's some shocking results, that's going to be interesting. I'm sure MCN will be talking to you, Paul, and I'm sure we'll be reading about that soon. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that. Thanks for letting us know. At some point, must get Paul onto one of these Zoom call thingies, and we'll if people want it, we can answer all your questions, because it's a bit of a minefield, the whole safety rating thing of jackets and gloves and helmets and all the rest of it, and we could do something with that if you want, if Paul wants to. He said in the past he would, so I'm sure he would. Thank you, Paul. William Miller, good show, defo do it again. Thank you very much. I haven't finished yet. Well, then maybe I should go. Mr. Bojangles, hello Stephen. Any plans for resurrecting Reader's Rides? Of course, Steve was on Reader's Rides. One of the best Reader's Rides we've ever done. He says that open, the others aren't watching, but maybe they are, we don't know. But yeah, I'd love to do that. Very much so. I want to do more older bikes, and that includes bikes that readers have got. Difficult this time of year because there's so little light and the weather's just against us, but in the summer I definitely want to do that. I've got a few thoughts about how I can do that. Also, I definitely want to do some meetups. Got to do that this year. I've always been a bit anti that because of don't know what the numbers would be. I might have to start off with my Patreons maybe, so that we can sort of contain numbers, but I'd love to do that. And in fact today I was even thinking about that bike meet we went to down at the Plough at Cadston. I was wondering whether I should talk to those guys and do a special TMF meet up there, because they're geared up, they know what they're doing with these bike meets, and maybe do one summer's evening, we do a TMF meet up at the Plough at Cadston or something, and then it doesn't really matter if we get a lot of people or not many. Either way, it works, and maybe even do a little ride out. I don't know. On that score, actually, I am going to be at the Adventure Bike Festival this year, which is in August. I'm going to be there all weekend. I cannot wait. And I can get you a discount on tickets. I'll let you know what that's all about soon. I think I might have put a post on one of my various social media feed somewhere about that. There's a special code that I can give you on a website that you click on, and you get massive discounts on the tickets. So if you're thinking of going, don't go yet. Wait till I've told you about that, because if you click on my link, you get a big discount, and then I'll see you there. So yeah, there's going to be some sort of meet-up activity there as well. So if you're going along to that Adventure Bike Rider Festival in August, I'll see you there. At least. Hope it's dry tomorrow, says Jason. So do I. Not that I'm probably going to go out on the bikes. I'm trying not to ride while we're in lockdown. It's just a personal thing. But there we go. But it'll be nice to see some sunshine. It's been grim today, isn't it? Unfortunately for poor old Mrs. Fly, she's in isolation at the moment. She had one of those track and trace alerts the other day. Hilarious long story, which I won't bore you with. But you know you're supposed to quarantine for 14 days. She's been told 21 days and she can't get the date changed. So that's a nightmare. Anyway, what have we got here? John, will you come to Holland? Yes, I will, John. Definitely. One of the places I want to go to is Denmark. And I think I'll go via Holland. So, again, very much on the cards. I hope for next year. A little trip up to Denmark, maybe across the bridge into Sweden. With Mrs. Flyer, I'm thinking about doing that. I did an interview a couple of weeks ago with a vlogger from Denmark. Again, I posted a link to that on one of my social media feeds. Lovely chap, and hopefully, you know, I might be able to tap him up and get some local rides on there. But I'd love to do that sort of thing where you let people know you're coming through the country and you meet up with people and they show you their local rides and roads. I'm not sure logistically how that will work out. I know Bruce Teapot One does that. I must talk to him about how he does it actually, because I'm not quite sure how you know when you're going to be at places. I don't want to keep people waiting and be late, and at the same time I want to be flexible. So it's all a bit tricky, but that would be great to do that sort of thing. And yeah, definitely be back in Holland. I've ridden in Holland, of course, but I'll definitely be back. Right, what we got going on here? 2019. This is amazing. Right, let's just read some of these points coming up quickly. Oh, Craig's logging off. Cheerio, Craig. White Wine's calling him. Fair enough. Catch you next time. I better go then. It was Pooch that was my first bike in the 80s, says Punch Cat 07. Good man, you see? Great minds think alike and all that. Well done, you. Same with me. Right, let's do 3 more questions off the live stream, and I better go. What have we got? I hope you get to do the test ride on the new 1050 V-Strom. Well, I'm not sure if I will, to be honest. It's not a bike that really appeals to me. I don't like the look of it very much. And as I said before, I'm being a bit choosy and picky about the bikes that I ride because I can't ride them all. I just physically haven't got enough time. I probably won't ride the V-Strom. Great bike though, I'm sure it is. It just doesn't appeal to me, doesn't it? It doesn't get me excited, so I probably won't ride that. Sorry about that. Wooter, thank you very much. Good to hear from you again. Are you able to test drive the Honda Forza 750 in the upcoming weeks? I doubt the Honda Forza or the Honda XADV Greeks from Amsterdam. Is the Forza, I'm not sure if we call it that here, and the XADV as well has been upgraded, isn't it? More about that on my bike news again on Monday. I'll talk about that. I wouldn't mind another go on that. That was an interesting bike, but again, it's just time and fitting them all in. What else? Graham, is it the ABR weekend? That's in June. Yeah, probably. My calendar's all over the place, obviously. Yeah, the ABR one, June then. Crikey, that's sooner than I thought. I better start telling you about these tickets. Would you meet up with Norrie from Itchy Boots, says Bangkok Bill? Yeah, of course I would. I regard Norrie as a pal. We have a little not Facebook, you know, those little groups, WhatsApp group thing going. So I'm in touch with Norrie, and we've got some potential stuff happening in the future, more on her side than mine, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, but she doesn't stay still for a moment, though, does she? So actually hooking up with her on a bike is nigh on impossible. What else we got? Miserable Mongoose. I bought my Versys 650 off the back of your review as my first big bike. Good call. Yeah, and I loved that. In fact, I think I preferred the 650 to the bigger bike. That was great. All right, have I done me 3? I'm going there as well, says Graham. Oh, see you there then. Brilliant. What else I got? My first bike was a Suzuki AP50. Mate Michelle, it's my birthday today. Been out for a cold, but well done. Happy birthday, Mate Michelle. Brilliant. Paul Messenger, when's the Interceptor paint job reveal? I've talked about that. I don't know how long you've been watching the live stream, but watch it back again. I talk a lot about the Interceptor. You won't see, it's not been done. Unfortunately, lots of delays. It's being done as we speak. It'll be finished probably end of December time. Means you probably won't see it till early January, but as soon as it's done, I'll be doing a reveal. All right, I better call that it. Brilliant. I could talk all night doing this, but we're still at 1,014 as well. That's absolutely amazing. But Mrs. Flyer's getting frisky. It is Saturday night. I've had a couple of beers. You know what it's like. So I better log off, but thank you so much indeed for watching, for all the videos and stuff. I did post, as I say, a video today, which was just one that was knocking about the hard drive. It's going to be a few of those, so don't hate me for that. They'll be going up over the next few days. As I mentioned, bike news on Monday. Special, hopefully a bonus video on Tuesday. There's another bike coming out on Tuesday. I'll say no more, but wait for the video then. And then back to the normal Monday, Thursday thing with the odd Saturday one thrown in. And if, if it's a horrible rainy day, then maybe we'll do another one of these live streams. It's been fantastic talking to you. Still over 1,000 people on. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for watching. Let me see. I've got a little button here that I'll press. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio.